Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Very interesting, notable developments in the war between NATO and Russia in Ukraine. And that is around Chasov or Chassiv Yar. That's one topic of this video. Very important development, which tells us the Ukrainians are retreating, even with the help of the new NATO's weapons, money, and who knows what else. So that's one topic. Another topic is the Russians attack and damage Ukrainian airfields where F-16s will be allegedly located and will be used to attack or to fight the war. I personally have more and more doubts that the F-16s will ever fly in this campaign. And if they do, I again have an overwhelming assessment or opinion. I don't think it's opinion, it's an assessment based on facts and patterns from the past. They will not be flown by Ukrainian pilots. Probably some of them will be, just so they make videos and pictures with them, but I think the main ones will be that really will engage, if they're allowed to fight the Russians, will be NATO pilots. I will come back to that issue as I'm going to discuss this article of Ukrainian airfields being attacked by the Russians. And the last topic is massive Russian drone attack overnight from the 4th on the 5th of July 2024. And guess what? The Ukrainians are perfect. That means they destroy all the drones the Russians stupidly launched against Ukraine. And that gets me to the article I covered yesterday in one of my videos, where these guys in the West were all alarmed that Russia and China work together to create an attack drone based on the structure of Shahed drones, the Iranian drones. I have to tell you that the Russians used Shahed drones last night and all of them were downed. So no worries, the Russians and the Chinese can design and bring them in Ukraine. They will mean nothing, zero. All right, that's how the story goes. Let's start with the first article. Associated Press. Ukraine's army retreats from positions as Russia gets closer to seizing strategically important town. That is Chasov Yar or Chassiv Yar. But hey, let's read the article and see what the Associated Press tells us. Ukraine's army has retreated from a neighborhood in the outskirts of Chassiv Yar, a strategically important town in the eastern Donetsk region that has been reduced to rubble under a month-long Russian assault, a military spokesperson said Thursday. That is by Bakhmut, that is west of Artemovsk, as the Russians call it, Bakhmut as the Ukrainians call it. So that is a very important town. I'm surprised they call it that way, because usually when the Russians are advancing or they take over, liberate, occupy a new village or a new settlement, the people in the West say, that was unimportant anyway, but hey, we defended it like crazy, with military inside the settlement. That means the Russians will definitely destroy you in the city. So you can blame the Russians for destroying where your army was placed among civilian infrastructure. Okay, that's how the story goes. Chassiv Yar is a short distance west of Bakhmut, which was captured by Russia last year after a bitter 10-month battle. For months, Russian forces have focused on capturing Chassiv Yar, a town which occupies an elevated location. Its fall will put nearby cities in jeopardy, compromise critical Ukrainian supply routes and bring Russia closer to its stated aim of seizing the entire Donetsk region. The Ukrainian army retreated from a northeastern neighborhood in the town. That's the one. Let's go to the second article. The second article comes from, can you believe it, CNN. Russia captures part of a key hilltop town in Ukraine, opening door for further advances. This is from July 4, 2024. Russian troops have taken control of parts of key hilltop town in eastern Ukraine, a strategic gain that could pose major problems for Ukrainian troops trying to defend the area from further advances. So the relatively small town of Chasiv Yar has played an outsized role in the conflict and has been battered by months of intense fighting. The Russian Defense Ministry said on Thursday that its troops have taken over the eastmost district of Chasiv Yar. So, Chasiv Yar will fall. The Ukrainians left after Artemovsk, and not only in a hurry, if you remember that one. And unfortunately, they didn't have time, I think, to prepare well the defense of Chasiv Yar. But hey, they know best. I think the Russians are advancing not like a blitzkrieg, fast, and then they have to wait for whatever they left behind to be mowed down. I think they do it slowly. Or maybe they can't. Nevertheless, they are still gaining small gains. Next article comes from the Telegraph, and it must be true. Russia targeting Ukrainian air bases, plural, where F-16 fighters will fly from. And we have a picture here that with a destroyed airbase, and it says Russia has launched missiles at air bases shortly after flying surveillance drones overhead for the last 3 days. Russia is firing missiles at Ukrainian bases in an apparent attempt to stop them from receiving F-16 jets, which have been dubbed war winners. War winners, that kind of winners, for their potential to repel Russia's onslaught on the front line. Why? See, narratives and folklore is created by these people. And then when they don't succeed, they will not say, well, maybe our hype and our lies were too big. But the people in charge of the big lies are the ones who initiated the big lies. So they're doing a good job for the baboons, not for you or I. We got their number, don't worry, a long time ago. How? They exposed themselves, and we were not lazy like others, and we looked into shit. Now let's move on. Russia's defense ministry said on Thursday it has used an Iskander ballistic missile, singular, to destroy a MiG-29 fighter jet at the base of Dolgintsevo in central Ukraine. They also destroyed, according to the Russians, what was this? Some Sukhoi 29s, or 27s were they? 27s, the MiG was the 29, about 10 of them. I covered that in a video yesterday. It marks the third day in a row that Russia has launched missiles at an airbase shortly after firing surveillance drones overhead, and comes ahead of a long-awaited delivery of F-16s. As I said at the beginning of this video, I am very skeptical that the F-16s will ever fly in the war zone. They'll probably fly by Lvov in the western Ukraine, by Poland, and they will not come closer. But these guys with the big lie will show us a lot of videos with the F-16s shooting and flying and turning upside down and doing everything what the Blue Angels do. And they will say, well, that's engaging the Russians. I don't think they will engage the Russians. Why? Because they will be shut down. They will be probably they will be annihilated. They would be with electronic warfare, and these guys will go back home if they can with a tail between their legs. Some will be successful, but I don't think the hype equals reality whatsoever. It's an old plane, and thus Wunderwaffe, there's no such a thing, all right? Wunderwaffe here, F-16s, I don't think so. But hey, you can believe that if you want. And I know if you're here so far, so deep into my video, I know you don't believe that. Now, the American jets have been the object of Ukraine's desires for months, with President Volodymyr Zelensky hailing them as potential game changers. All right. Hope dies last, right? Ukrainska Pravda. Ukraine's Air Force downs all 32 Russian Shahed drones overnight. So, Russians, stop launching Shahed drones into Ukraine. You see, these guys are destroying all of them now. And stop the production of those Chinese, Russian models that look at Shahed. These guys are good, man. Good. Do you believe that? Now, I work with possibilities and probabilities. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible they downed all 32. Is it probable? I give it maybe 50-50. That's because I'm not an expert in these kind of things, and but not an idiot either. So let's move on. This is from July 5th. Russian forces attacked Ukraine with 32 Shahed 131/136 attack UAVs on the night of 4th per 5 July, all which were shot down. And I'm quoting from the Air Force, the quote. During the night, the defenders of the skies shot down all 32 Shahed drones in Mykolaiv, Odessa, Kherson, Dnipropetrovsk, Kiev, Chernihiv, and Cherkassk Oblast. All right, 7 oblasts. The attack was repelled by fighter aircraft, anti-aircraft missile units of the Air Force, mobile fire groups of Ukrainian Defense Forces, and electronic warfare units. All right, now you got it? So I suggest the Russians should stop doing that. So here it is for this little update. And I have another one which pertains to the Russians. How many drones they downed from the Ukrainian side. And it's even more than 32. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.